He was everywhere. Sweet Valley High had made her a household name, and for years she was the face that defined a generation's television experience. Brittany Daniels walked red carpets, took on film roles, built a career that seemed to have no ceiling. She was young, talented, beautiful, and everything Hollywood promised would last forever. But then life interrupted the script. Life does that sometimes. It comes in the form of a diagnosis, a moment when the doctor says words that change everything, when the world you thought was solid suddenly becomes fragile and uncertain. The story of Brittany Daniels begins long before Sweet Valley High, before she became a recognizable face on television. It begins with her twin sister Cynthia, with two girls who understood early that they had something special. A connection, a chemistry, a shared presence that could translate into opportunity. They started as models, working together, building a foundation in the entertainment industry that would give them the skills and confidence to transition into acting. Modeling taught them professionalism, taught them how to carry themselves, taught them that appearance was only part of the equation. What mattered was presence. What mattered was authenticity beneath the surface. When Sweet Valley High came calling, Brittany stepped into the role of Jessica Wakefield with a kind of natural ease that suggested this was exactly where she was supposed to be. The series became a cultural phenomenon, and she became someone millions of people watched every week, someone they felt they knew, someone they rooted for. She balanced humor with emotion, lightness with depth. She showed that she could carry scenes, that she could lead, that she understood the subtle work of television acting that requires constant connection with an audience even when the camera isn't moving. But Brittany refused to be trapped by one role. She appeared in films like Joe Dirt, proving she could do comedy. She was in White Chicks, showcasing her ability to commit fully to absurdist humor. She appeared in The Game, an acclaimed dramedy series that required her to navigate complex character work and ensemble dynamics. With each role she was building something intentional, a career that proved versatility, that showed growth, that demonstrated she was a serious performer willing to take risks. She was becoming the kind of actress who could do anything because she understood the fundamental truth of acting. It's about finding humanity in every character regardless of genre or tone. Then everything stopped. Not because her career ended or because the industry moved on. Everything stopped because her body betrayed her in the most fundamental way. The diagnosis came as it always does. Sudden, unwelcome, impossible to ignore. Non-Hodgkin lymphoma. Cancer. 4 letters that reorganize your entire understanding of what matters, what's important, what actually counts as success. In that moment, career achievements became abstract. Awards became irrelevant. The only thing that mattered was survival. What followed was a battle that most people never see. The treatment, the uncertainty, the days when your body is fighting an invisible war and you're not sure if you're winning or losing. There's a particular kind of fear that comes with cancer. A fear that goes deeper than anything most people experience. A fear that forces you to confront mortality in ways that are impossible to articulate. And Brittany faced that fear not in private, not hidden away from the world, but with a determination that would become her greatest performance. She returned to acting after treatment, and that return was everything. It wasn't a triumphant Hollywood comeback with fanfare and magazine covers. It was something quieter and far more powerful. A woman who had looked death in the face and decided that life was still worth living, still worth creating, still worth showing up for. She appeared in The Game and other productions, proving that illness hadn't stolen her talent, that treatment hadn't diminished her presence, that she was still exactly who she had always been. But the real power came when she chose to speak about it. She didn't hide the diagnosis or pretend it never happened. She talked about the journey, about the fear, about the struggle, about what it actually feels like to battle cancer while the world keeps moving on without you. That honesty became the most valuable thing she could offer. It gave permission to others facing the same battle. It transformed her from someone people admired for her talent into someone people admired for her courage. It proved that resilience isn't just something you talk about. It's something you live, something you embody, something that becomes part of who you are. Years later, when people think of Brittany Daniels, they think of a woman who had everything and then faced losing everything and chose to come back anyway. They think of someone who understood that true strength isn't the absence of struggle. It's continuing to show up even when the struggle is real, even when the outcome is uncertain, even when the easy choice would be to disappear. They think of an actress who proved that her greatest performance wasn't on a television set or a movie screen. It was the performance of living, of fighting, of refusing to let illness write the ending of her story. That's the legacy that actually matters. Not the roles or the awards, though those have their place. The legacy that matters is the example she set for countless people facing their own battles, their own diagnoses, their own moments of profound uncertainty. She showed them that life continues on the other side of diagnosis. She showed them that you can return to what you love. She showed them that courage isn't about never being afraid. It's about being afraid and choosing to live anyway.